Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you on this August 8th, 2025. I got all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work. Boy, was it a fun week. Lots of different things to get into. On today's episode, we have Clayton Eard on the Vile Files podcast. He slips a little tea about a possible docuseries for his paternity scandal. I'll share what he had to say. And then some information coming out of Alabama that's going to definitely leave you wanting to seek protection. We'll get into that story. And then Candace Owens discusses the Blake Lively trial, kind of merges it with her own trial as she's being sued by Brigitte Macron. I'll share what she has to say about the behind the scenes of being subpoenaed by the A-list actress. And then we have a new jobs report coming out. Donald Trump fired the statistician who was in charge of providing the job numbers last week. And now there's a new statistician. And guess what? The numbers just got better. I'll get into that. And then I've got Gaza and Epstein updates. I mean, a wild time to be alive. So much to get into. All these stories and more. They start right now on The Rush. And before we get into our first story today, don't forget we have our teacher wish list. I mean, I don't even know where we're at. So many teachers, from Monica in Des Moines to Jesse in Ottawa, Ontario, Allison in Newton, Massachusetts, or Anna in Fontana, California. All these great teachers are part of our community. They've all got Amazon links where you can click on them, support their classroom, buy a poster or a jar of, I don't know, whatever the heck they need, and it's going to help them out. Get them some glow sticks. Everyone needs some glow sticks, right? So please, link in the description if you guys could help out our teachers. It is a gift that gives back to our community. And speaking of gifts that give back, what a segue. Come on. This is going to be an all-time great episode. Mississippi Madness. Give us a minute. We'll give you an infection. So says the TMZ article. Don't sue me, bro. STDs are burning up the state. That's the title. STDs are burning up the state. Mississippi's going through a bumpy time lately, and it's not because of the heat. Turns out the state is facing a major STD outbreak. Geez, and then they've got a giant photo of a zoomed-in crab. The southern state, already struggling with sky-high rates of gonorrhea, chlamydia, and HIV, has just dropped a jaw-dropping stat: 1,200 cases per 100,000 people. To put that into perspective, one person in a room of 100 Mississippians walking around with an STD or infection. All right, well, hey, I'm just giving you guys the updates, just so you know. It's not Roll Tide. It's roll some Valtrex over your face. Okay, let's just move it on. Come on, and I'm not here to shame anybody. Live your life. Just, you bathe and seek protection and be careful who you bang, I guess. This is good Friday advice. Just be careful who you bang. What else can I tell you? Gina Carano and Disney have settled their legal dispute over the Mandalorian firing. We look forward to identifying opportunities to work together in the future. Well, that's one outcome I'm surprised to hear. Now, if you aren't, and by the way, my guess is she got paid a lot of money. That's my guess. No, not to say she was in the right. She was fired several years ago. Well, you know what? Let me just read what they wrote here. This is from several years ago. Carano shared a screenshot of a post from a separate account to her Instagram story. The post equated being a Republican under the Biden administration to being Jewish in Nazi Germany. Jews were beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children, read the now deleted post. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. So she shared that post and then got fired. Now, look, I'm all for people, in their First Amendments, but it doesn't apply to your employment, right? So again, I don't know the laws of business at Disney and what you're entitled to say or not say, but I do think it's a ridiculous thing for her to post. I think we covered this years ago, and I'm not trying to bring it back up, although you read this and it's like, is she talking about all these people hated Republicans? No, I understand. You work in Hollywood. It leans liberal. I get it, But no one hates you for your political affiliation. We all want the same thing. I know you might say, no, I actually do hate someone. We all want a thriving place for our family. We all want to experience prosperity and abundance. I just encourage people, the best way to get there is to reject the fear rhetoric, reject the people that are telling you, oh, that's these illegals that are going to steal your jobs, or they hate you and they're going to do this, that. No, come on. It's just like, you know what? It's so easy to make people afraid of something, and it scapegoats the actual problems in life, which is The billionaires. Okay, let's move it along. Did we keep you on that one? So Clayton Eard did Nick Viall's podcast, Viall Files. I have to be honest with you. I am so sick and tired of talking about dating shows. I love The Bachelor. I love Paradise. I love watching these shows. What I hate is judging people for what they do on these shows. I'm just over it. We don't know what it's like to be there in the moment. Things get edited. There's high stakes. There's nuance. There's subtlety and subtext and all these other things. So they go into this whole conversation. I don't even want to cover, but Clayton Eard reinvigorated his relationship with Rachel Recchia. And I'm not just saying this to pimp for Clayton Eard. He's great TV because he is kind of boneheaded on TV. He'll tell you that. You know, he said he loved you to multiple women. He says 3. Some people say 4 on his season of Bachelor. They cut out one of them. So I've been told. I don't know. But no, listen, he'll tell you. He was like, yeah, he's a bonehead. And then he goes on Perfect Match and he wants to see if him and Rachel could try something new. You know, and he's like, yeah, you look a little different. Maybe it's like it'll feel new. And it didn't. And it didn't work out. And he cut her loose and he got a lot of hate for it. I'm just over it. It's like, whatever. She has her autonomy. She decided to try things with him again too. You know what I mean? You could hate me for that, but I think it's just like, who cares? Watch the show, right? So anyway, we pass through all that. I don't want to cover that. But then here's where Clayton talks about a possible docuseries coming out with him and his paternity scandal.
Houses these days? You want to plug your real estate business?
The real estate's popping right now. I'm selling the solar panels. I got a docu-series on the way, a podcast series over the whole paternity scandal, which will give people some background info on all the craziness behind there. So there's a lot of things churning right now.
A lot of things churning right now. Now, if you're wondering if I may make an appearance on said docu-series in podcast form, I couldn't tell you, but you'll have to tune in when that comes out. It's not going to be for a while, I don't think. But either way, it'll be great for Clayton to share his story, right? So either way, I just wanted to share, though, it's just such a mean girl energy you get from some of the people that work at the Viall Files podcast. Like, as soon as they hang up the phone with Clayton, the producer's just ready to talk shit about him. Have a listen.
People will reach out to you if they want to buy some solar panels or a house from you.
Everything's through my Instagram. So if you go on my Instagram, my bio, right, ClaytonEard.com, and that's where everything's at.
All right. Clayton, thank you for your time, buddy.
Bye, Clayton.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. Thoughts, feelings, concerns? Jira, you were quiet.
I was told that if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say nothing at all.
Boo! Mean girl.
I'm just like, it's hard to watch where I'm just like, there's zero accountability and it's everyone else's fault.
Well, there's not zero.
Okay. 5%.
There was some accountability.
All right, so actually there you have Nick and Natalie playing good cop to the producer's bad cop. Either way, I don't want to give it too much attention. Over it. But it's like, look, live your life. You know what I mean? Whatever. Okay, let's go to Candace Owens. Let's brighten things up with Candace Owens. Why don't we? Oof. So Candace has been a target of Blake Lively. I mean, Blake Lively's got lots of targets. But she explains here the war on mainstream media. And look, all mainstream media isn't bad. But we live in a time of sensationalism where it takes a lot to get clicks in this world we live in. And where we put our time and energy, who we decide to watch, whether it's a mean girl producer or some show that enriches us. And hey, maybe I'm too toxic for people too. Like, I don't know. It's like, pick your poison, right? But there is some, sloppy stuff going on out there with mainstream media, and maybe it's always existed. But this article that was written by the New York Times, which colluded with Blake Lively, right? They teamed up with her for months to write this hit piece on Justin Baldoni, is an example of bad journalism. They teamed up for months to get this article down. They only reached out to Justin Baldoni the night before. They gave him like 4 hours to respond on a Friday night, days before Christmas. Guy's trying to put together some doll, easy bake oven thing. He's got all of his tools out. The part, his wife's yelling at him, "Hey, reading the directions," and he's like, "No, I'm getting slammed on that New York Times," right? So that's all happening, and it's just a crock of garbage. And it's actually why I talked about, and no offense, Elizabeth Wagmeister, who writes for CNN and Variety. And then again, it's not to call her out, but she was like kind of commenting on this case about like, well, who are these content creators considered journalists? And it's like this thing that if you have the access badge to go work at CNN or New York Times, that you've got more ethics than somebody else. I mean, it's just a crock of shit. That world's gone. And this is, I pick who I trust on a name-by-name basis. I trust Ryan Grimm. He's a fantastic journalist. I know if he's reporting something, I believe it because I put my stock and my equity into somebody who's got a high batting average. And if there are places that don't give that to you, just go find someone who does. Anyhow, we're going to go and listen to Candace Owens, what she had to say about mainstream media shitting the bed.
Further on the topic of everything being fake and gay and how all of this really is connected and really is a challenge for us to recognize that we are at war with our press. This has been the importance of the Blake Lively lawsuit. People, why are you covering this? Are you crazy? This is exactly what it is that we're talking about. Okay. A couple goes to the New York Times amongst their powerful elite friends and says, hey, I just kind of want the publishing from this guy, Justin Baldoni. And so we're just going to make up this narrative and do you mind writing this article, Megan Twohey? Yeah, one of the people who launched the Me Too movement. Do you mind just writing this article? Because that works typically. You can just, companies get completely sunk and they have to sell really quickly if we just kind of smear them with the idea that they're rapists. And the New York Times said, yeah, sure, that's not a problem.
So, of course, the New York Times writes this article, we can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine. Now, here's where it's tricky. Megan Twohey writing this article might have had a little confirmation bias that she was on the right side of the article. It was going to be big. It was going to be juicy. It was going to bring her all these accolades. Is that as similar to Candace Owens and her following Brigitte Macron? Like, I'm going to expose this crazy story. It's going to be big. It's going to give me accolades, only to possibly then, of course, get sued for defamation. Of course, these stories are different, but Candace will bring them up and discuss why there are similarities in a few minutes.
And they released this article. And the only takeaway you could have as a reader was that this guy was the biggest creep ever. Justin Baldoni was the biggest creep, porn addicted, can't stop talking about sex, tried to cop a look of her boob while she was breast pumping. Cause like, I guess that's very attractive. A machine going, crank, crank, crank. And he just,
I got to side with Candace here. I mean, has anyone seen breast pumping before? It's a lot of suction. It's a real octopus sort of situation. By the way, if they don't have a breast pump called the octopus, what are we even doing? Somebody call me up. Let me design one of these things. And trust me, I tested a bunch of breast pumps with my wife. We really were trying to, but it was the one time we wanted to find a product that sucked. Okay, folks, moving on. So she's, sets the table for why mainstream media is essentially no longer credible, if it ever was. And again, not to say that content creators are credible. Like I said, individual ones are. You have to find out who you want to F with. So here she discusses the subpoena that Blake Lively sent to her, the update.
This BS. Why are the judge allowed? This is an absolute nonsense. So we went to them and said, Candace has never been told what to publish. That was a part of their subpoena, wanting to figure out whether people were sending us talking points, whether or not people had paid us, whether or not people were encouraging, like asking us to say certain things throughout an episode. It's a nonsense. In fact, I should sue them for defamation for even suggesting that I would let somebody put words in my mouth.
Wow. Candace Owens threatening to sue Blake Lively for defamation. Go for it. I mean, of course, it's not going to happen here, but I understand what she's trying to say. And by the way, if Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, sued anybody, if they paid anybody to be their PR piece, it wouldn't be these one or two follower people. It'd be people like Candace Owens. But here's the thing. Candace Owens, it would require a lot of money for that to happen. Say what you want about her, like with the Brigitte Macron thing. I'm a coin flip on whether or not she's going to win or lose based on, defamation law and actual malice and all of that. And not being a legal scholar, I'm a coin flip. I couldn't tell you. But with that said, I do believe for the most part, Candace does try to seek justice for what she believes. I think some of the things she believes are insane. That's just my opinion. But I believe she is after justice, and to think that she would be paid, it's like, I don't think Baldoni could afford to pay her. She's gigantic.
It's bad for my brand. You hurt me now. That feels like an untraceable campaign. Blake Lively, okay? Cut that out right now.
Cut that out.
And he said, obviously that's not true. Like, do you even know who Candace is? And we absolutely are not giving you our communications. We will file to completely quash this subpoena, and we will win because we will cite reporter's privilege. You know that Candace went out and said, if you have any tips, send it to her line. at tips@CandaceOwens.com, you know that she then began receiving tips. So what are you trying to do? What game are you trying to play? Are you trying to like find a communication and then try to trot it out as PR proof? Like, oh yeah, no, Candace, see, they were all involved and colluding in February of 2025 after we filed our lawsuit. That's a nonsense. And they had a friendly conversation. The lawyers had a friendly conversation, and they asked us not to file the quash until they could see they filed some motion, whether or not they could win on forcing the defendants of this case, Brian Friedman and co. Justin Baldoni, to have to give their communication so that it won't actually involve me at all. Meaning,
so they were trying to get the information from Brian's side, and if they could do that, then they wouldn't need this to go through or whatever. Either way, it's ridiculous, and we've known this all along. Whether you're a good friend Lauren, a small YouTuber, or Candace, a very large provocateur, nobody got paid to cover this. This is what some of the haters that were, trying to talk some trash to me were saying. Oh, you didn't follow this until there was money involved, as if that's, just hogwash. People all came to the same conclusion at the same time because we all read the new evidence that was coming in and we're saying, geez, I don't really feel like Blake's got much of a case. I mean, at what point, honest question, at what point is Blake going to want to settle this? At what point is she going to say, this can't go to trial? The thought of Blake losing this in a jury of her peers will not be a good look for her. At least if she settles, like Gina Carano and Disney settled, lips are sealed, money is exchanged, people no longer want to talk, non-disclosure agreements. Now, of course, how's this going to work with Justin Baldoni, where he's got the ball in his court? Yeah, sure, he's lost a few things. He had his defamation case, but he's rock solid. Literally, have you seen him? He's rock solid when it comes to there being zero evidence, zero discovery so far, zero anything really that made it look like he harassed her, other than some of these text messages that they acquired from the PR people. So I think while in the Bridget McCrone case, it's a 50-50 coin flip for me. By the way, I think Bridget McCrone, for those that aren't following, I've been covering it on YouTube over here. I believe like there's a 95% chance she's born a woman. That's what I believe. I don't care about all the details. That's just where I'm at, just because it's the simplest explanation. But what do I know? But when it comes to Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, I believe a 95% that Justin Baldoni's on the innocent side. Now, if Blake Lively was to provide some ring cam footage or something, of him doing something nefarious or whatever, but him whispering a voice note to her because he doesn't want to wake up his sleeping child, that ain't it. That ain't it. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about, don't we? Coming up next, we have new job reports as a Trump loyalist has data they just found. They have concepts of a job plan, and they're going to share it with us. This coming next.